boarding a US military plane began deporting Indian migrants. This has been implemented by the US President Donald Trump and his hardline stance against an estimated 11 million undocumented migrants in the United States. This is the first deportation flight carrying over 200 Indian nationals, 205 to be precise, from the United States, marking the first of its kind operation to India. We have Vishnu joining us to get us more on this. Vishnu, this flight that departed from San Antonio in Texas at about 3 o'clock in the morning Indian Standard Time is expected to land in the national capital. More such flights are expected because from what we're hearing from our sources is there's a list of at least 18,000 Indians that has been drawn up.
So just as a point of clarification, it's not the first time that the United States has deported Indian illegal immigrants from the United States. They've done chartered flights in the past. Several thousand have been returned from America to India. What makes this, Divya, significant is that it's the first time that a military aircraft has been used by the Trump administration to do these deportations. This is significant because it indicates a sense of urgency by the US President Donald Trump. There is just a statement which has come in the last little while from the US Embassy in New Delhi, which says, and I quote, "The United States is vigorously enforcing its border, tightening immigration laws, and removing illegal migrants. These actions send a clear message: illegal migration is not worth the risk." Now, the passengers or the illegal migrants being brought back to India have all been verified. Now, this was something which the government of India was very keen to ensure, that the people coming back to India are in fact Indian nationals. And it's on the basis of that verification having been carried out that they did get onto this aircraft. It's a US Air Force aircraft, a C-17 transport. It'll be several hours before it makes its flight from Texas to India. And this, I believe, would be the first of several other flights. Now, I don't have a date or any further detail on when these next flights would be. But again, as the US statement quite clearly says, this is a priority for the United States in carrying out these deportations. They've carried out deportations with a handful of countries in South America and Central America as well. And I should add that this visit, or rather this aircraft with deportees, comes just a couple of days ahead of the visit of the Prime Minister to the United States.
Right. Vishnu, of course, the stance that, Donald Trump is taking, and this, of course, comes very close on the heels of that conversation that Donald Trump had with Prime Minister Modi, in which, Prime Minister Modi did say that India will do what is right when it comes to taking back illegal immigrants.
That's right. And I think that's the key point, that India, no doubt about the fact that, if they are Indian nationals, if they are in trouble in another part of the world, you are legally bound to take back your nationals, by every legal international norm. So that's something which has been happening. Several thousand have been deported from the United States in the last couple of years. Again, the urgency this time is that within days of Trump becoming president, they've been put on a US military aircraft. They're being sent back. But yes, they've been verified, presumably by those who've kept the Indian government in loop, that, look, these are authentic Indian nationals. Prime Minister Modi has been very clear. The government of India has been very clear that, it is the right thing to do in taking back these nationals. How long this lasts, the exact number of Indian illegal migrants in America presently is something that needs to be looked at. But again, it is quite something that within days of President Trump becoming president of the United States again, you've got these Indian nationals put on a military transport, a US Air Force aircraft, right? We don't know if they're bound, if they're shackled or anything of that sort, and they've been sent back. In the past, as I mentioned, it was, a somewhat easier process. They were put on chartered aircraft. A military transport aircraft isn't quite the same way of traveling, but that's what's been done this time around.
Right, Vishnu, thank you so much for getting us all those details. We also have Ashok Sajanhar joining us to get us more on this, former ambassador. Thank you so much for speaking with us. When we talk about, the deportation flight, this is not the first time that Indians are being deported, like Vishnu just mentioned. Over 5,000 Indians were deported between 2018 and 2023, but never on a military aircraft in this manner. What do you make of the message that's being put out in bold and clear words?
I think the message is more, Divya, to the domestic constituency of President Trump and to the international community that Mr. Trump means business. Because you would recall that this was his, topmost priority as far as his campaign promises was concerned. In addition to trade, immigration, illegal immigration, and stopping that was his topmost priority. And that is what he has started without, missing a step. He's hit the ground running. That's what he had said, that he's going to deport the illegal migrants to wherever they have come from. There are a large number of them. And as you have mentioned, and as Vishnu also mentioned, this is not the first time that India is taking back these illegal migrants. So I think it is, in the normal course, also this would have happened. But President Trump wants to show that this is a matter of priority, this is urgency. And that is why, very quickly this has been done, and also a military aircraft has been used. So I think this is sending out a message. But I don't think, as far as the Prime Minister's visit is concerned, which is likely to take place from 12th to the 14th, that this is going to have any impact on that. I'm sure discussions on legal and illegal migration will take place during the Prime Minister's visit. But I don't think that this, or if there are any other similar deportations that take place over the coming days, that these will have any significant impact on the results of the visit, which I think is going to be a very positive one going forward. Divya.
Right. Sir, from what we're hearing and from what reports are emerging at the moment, that there's a list of 18,000 illegal migrants that have been identified. We're talking about Indian illegal migrants living in the United States. So this is just the first flight of over 200. We can expect more such flights. So, of course, the United States is vigorously enforcing its border, tightening its immigration laws, and, hell-bent on removing illegal migrants. What do you make of the relationship that India and the US will have this time around, given these strict actions that Donald Trump is taking as soon as he resumes office?
Yeah, that's right. I think there might be more flights coming in, but I think the number of 18,000, there is still a big question mark on that, because India has made it very clear that we would like to get, identification of all these illegal migrants confirmed before they are boarded. And definitely, as far as these 205 deportees that are concerned, their nationality has been confirmed, it has been stated. So I think this is going to be a process. It's going to take some time. It's not as if all of them are going to come all at the same time. And, out of 18,000, what the number has been mentioned in the media, it could be, around that, or maybe much less. We'll really have to wait and see. I don't think there is any finalization or any confirmation of the exact figure. So we'll really have to wait and see. But I think, as India has said, we are not in the business of sending illegal migrants to any part of the world, including the United States, and we are quite prepared to take them back. What we are interested in is sending legal migration, and that is what we have signed a large number of migration and mobility agreements with a large number of countries in the world. And of course, with the United States, where we have about 5 million Indian diaspora, both those who are stationed there, as also Indian nationals who go there for temporary assignments. I think it is our intention to get this number growing, and not in the area of illegal migrants. Divya.
Right, of course, this really comes about just before that visit of Prime Minister Modi to Washington, D.C. Like you mentioned, that's expected between the 12th and the 14th of this month. And of course, when we talk about that productive phone call that took place last Monday between the two leaders, in which, of course, Prime Minister Modi did talk about India taking back, illegal migrants, and talking about skilled labor as far as finding opportunities in the United States is concerned. So that was the major focus in that conversation. And of course, a lot coming out and a lot expected from that visit of Prime Minister Modi. Thank you so much, Mr. Sajanhar, for joining us this morning.